Today I was going to share some of my favorite mods so far and also show you how to install these mods manually because Vortex for some reason was giving me a really hard time. The main reason why they were giving me a hard time is because you have to change the mod staging folder. So you go over to settings, you go to mods, and you got to change the folder to be the main directory where Starfield is installed. But this is only part one of 2 steps that you'll have to do to get these mods running. So I'll explain that. A majority of these mods are all console-based cheats. So you don't have to worry about overwriting any files or anything. So these are all going to be set up in a way so that they auto-launch when you start the game up. Here's an example of one that I'm using called less spongy enemies. So this makes it so that the enemies don't gain any more health every time they level up. So to install this one, you download it by clicking on manual. It will take you to the files page, and then you can pick which one you want. You see how there's different settings for 10 health, 15 health, or whatever. I put the 0 health one. Manual download. Once you download it, it's going to be in a zip file, and you're going to go ahead and extract that right into the main folder for Starfield. By the way, if for any reason you're using one of these mods and when you try to drag it over, it says, do you want to overwrite? Always say no to that and make a backup folder like I did right here. That way you can throw whatever file that's going to be replaced in here before you go ahead and replace it. That way, in case for any reason that mod destroys your game and you're not able to launch it or something, you could always take the file and overwrite it again with the original file. That way you can get your game recovered. But in this case, you don't have to worry about that since this is just a text file. So once you put that into your main folder here, you're also going to need another one that's going to go into your documents. So usually if you scroll down to the bottom of one of these mods, you'll see this right here, Starfield Custom INI. So if this is your first mod that you're downloading, I would recommend downloading this too. For this file, you're going to have to extract it into your Starfield folder inside your documents. If you can't find it within your documents, which I'm always getting lost trying to find it here, you can always go up to here to search and put star, and it will usually pop up with Starfield somewhere. There goes Starfield right there. Click on that. There it is. It's under Documents, My Games, Starfield. And you're going to go ahead and you're going to drop that right into that folder. And the file should look like this in the beginning. So you see how it says bat, less spongy enemies. This is going to auto load the command prompt for this mod to start working. So that's one mod down. So let's say you want to add some more. For example, another one I'm running is called less spongy player. So this is basically the same thing, but for your own personal character. That way you don't have to worry about being too powerful when you level up too much. This is basically an attempt for me to make the game a little bit more realistic. So with this one, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to manually download the one that you prefer. So I picked this one on the top, the 10 health per level. Here it is, less spongy player, and extract that right into your main folder, just like the less spongy enemies. And you see they're right next to each other. Now, when it comes to the INI part, this is where it gets a little tricky, and you do need to read the description of how to install that. So I'm going to give you an example of how this works so that it's hopefully not as confusing as it was for me when I first started. So let's say, for example, we have our first mod, right? And it's the bat, less spongy enemies. Now we're going to be adding in the less spongy player. So we will need this right here, this line, bat, less spongy player with that little semicolon. I think that's what it's called, right? So you're going to copy it and you're going to make sure you're ending this one with the semicolon, and then you're going to paste. And there you go. You always want to make sure it ends with the semicolon. And you're basically going to repeat this process for every single mod you install that looks the same way when you go to the description of it. You'll always end up seeing one of these lines right here. So for example, this is how mine is looking right now. I have all the mods installed. You see how I have to scroll a little bit to see all of them in there. Something I'd like to add is that if you, for any reason, are not seeing some of your mods not working, I recommend doing this. So Dengo on the Nexus forums shows how you can individually launch certain bat files if the game isn't loading it properly when you launch the game. What you're going to do is on your main Starfield folder, you're going to right click and then just make a new text document. On the forum post, he recommended naming it auto run. Inside this file of auto run, you're just going to add the bat, less spongy enemies, and less spongy player on there, just like this. Once you save that, you're going to go over to your documents folder again, find your My Games, Starfield, and that Starfield Custom INI. You're going to edit this to add in bat space auto run right here. This can be in the front or the back, it doesn't matter as long as you're adding it to the list. So this is a good example of if your mods aren't running properly, you can always do this method and it will most likely work. Now for the fun part, actually showing the mods. I'm going to be saving a link in the description that you guys can check out that lists all the mods that I'm using. And of course, I'll be updating this over time. That way you guys can play around with them if you want. The first one is Bullet Hole Impact. The thing I really like about this one, it adds a little bit more realism to the combat. Especially when you kill a target and you shoot their body, you'll see the bullet holes. It's not going to be turning them into Swiss cheese or anything like that, but it still adds a level of immersion to the game to make it feel a little bit more realistic. The second one is Jetpack Overhaul. This turns it from the burst jumping that you usually do in the normal game into just holding spacebar down so that you can just deplete your entire bar immediately. And of course, I have this coupled up with the flying jetpack mod. That makes it so that I have unlimited jetpack fuel, so I don't have to worry about running out of boost. One last thing I'd like to add is that you may not know about this, but if you go into your settings, go to keybinds, and then scroll down to jump, you'll see an alternative button in there. If you set any key you want for that alternative button, that button will make it so that you burst horizontally faster. So you can essentially turn yourself into Iron Man flying around the planets and stuff. I highly suggest you use these mods and also do that keybind because it's going to make your life dramatically better when it comes to exploration. And to make the boost pack even better, if you use a boost pack that has skip on it, it'll make it that much faster when you're flying around. So it's beautiful. Another one I'm running is Infinite Power. There's 3 different settings to this. You can have the normal vanilla style. You can go for double power, which gives you a little bit reduced costs, as well as faster rejuvenation of your mana or power, whatever the hell you want to call it. I went with the infinite because I like to be able to have the option to spam if I wanted to, but usually I don't. I still try to play it realistic in my mind because I'm trying to role play while I'm playing this game. So it's up to you how you want to play this. Increase scan distance. This one's really awesome. It raises the scan distance up to as far as 50 meters. Infinite ship storage. This is awesome. I found myself constantly getting over encumbered every 2 seconds when I was out there looting in space. So I got sick of that and I put this mod on and now I'm happy. Another one that's really good is No XP Kill Steal Fix. This one makes it so that when you're using a companion and they get the final kill on the enemy, they're not going to steal your XP. They'll still give you credit for that kill. Then, of course, my absolute favorite one is less spongy enemies and less spongy player to make the game feel a little bit more challenging, as well as making it feel more realistic at the same time. So I really love this mod. Oh shit. Oh shit. Basically my goal with this is to turn the game into like Escape from Tarkov or like Stalker or something like that, where we have the awesome story stuff and also gameplay that's very engaging and scary, and you know, all the moments that I felt especially while playing Stalker, I would love to see that in Starfield. But anyways, that's the mods that I'm running right now. Of course, that list is going to grow. Bethesda already announced that next year in 2024, they're going to be working on releasing the official mod pack so that modders can go nuts on that. And I'm hoping that we'll see the good things, you know, the stuff that we're really looking forward to, like being able to fly our ship everywhere, or more options with the companions for like giving them commands to do things and stuff. Because I was thinking about it, it would have been cool to have a mod where the companion can be ordered to fly a stolen ship while you take your own ship, or maybe even have companions fly their own ships and you can have like a fleet of ships out in space. That would be sick as hell too. But anyways, I hope this video was helpful. Thanks for watching. Leave a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Later.